Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, and for today's video, I wanted to go ahead and review this set of two figures. These are the Bandai Movie Monster Series Adult Mothra and Larva Mothra figures. These are standard size figures, of course. Like I said, I'm definitely wanting to do more reviews on my standard size figures because I have a bunch of them, and certainly something I want to do. And like I said, mix it up, between my standard figures and my Gashapon ones. I love both, and I'll definitely, continue to do both. And I've got a lot to go through to review. But for these ones, these figures are the versions of Mothra, the adult and larva forms. This is from Godzilla Tokyo S, the 2003 versions of these kaiju. So it is those designs in particular. With Larva Mothra, it's always a little bit difficult to discern one version over another because she does essentially look the same or very similar, no matter which film you see the Larva Mothra in. But the adult Mothra usually has some variations with her design. As far as the figures themselves go, they're okay. I mean, I like them. I definitely wanted, some standard size Mothra adult and larva figures. So as far as that goes, I was happy to do that, and happy to get this, because this came as a set. So I was definitely very happy to get this. The figures themselves, just as an overall assessment, I think they're decent. Actually, I like the Larva Mothra better than the adult one, but I do like the adult one. I just don't think it's not perfect. I do have some nitpicks that some of the other reviews that I've watched of it, I definitely tend to agree with. But overall, I think it's decent, and I do like it, and I'm definitely happy to have both of these figures in my collection. As far as the 2003 version of Mothra herself goes, like I said, the larva, it's really a wash no matter which version you see her in. But the adult Mothra, though, as far as design wise, I do like the Tokyo S.O.S design of Mothra. It's not my favorite, though. The Showa, actually, believe for me, the Showa Mothra is my favorite, but that's the case for a good percentage of kaiju anyway, so, just to let it be known. But I definitely like this version of Mothra better than the 2001 version of Mothra from GMK. I'm not too big of a fan of that design, but most of the monster designs in that film I'm not too crazy about, other than Godzilla. But this, I think, was an improvement over it. But I think the Heisei Mothra and the Showa Mothra are both definitely much better than this, in my opinion. I like their designs better. But this one's not bad. So jumping into it here, this will be my first time actually reviewing a Mothra figure. Let's go ahead and let's start with the larva instead, so we'll go from baby to adult, basically. So the Larva Mothra, it was a pretty basic color scheme all around, but that's the way that she is. But they actually did some nice job because it's basically a brown paint all around, as you can see. Just kind of showcasing her all around, but it's different shadings of brown. So as you see, the adult has a little bit tricky to stand up properly. But anyway, so back to this. So let's see if I can kind of showcase with the camera. The lighting wasn't the best today. I'm trying to use, combination of light and sunlight, but it's not very sunny out right now. It's pretty cloudy, so. But anyway, so you can kind of see, though, the different variations, different shadings of brown that they used in the figure, and to me that was actually a very, very nice touch. Certainly something that I definitely like that they did with this. And you can see along the top of her here how you got like the streak of brown, but the streaks of different shadings of brown though on her. So I like that. Definitely think that they did a cool job with that. And then of course you got that nice little shiny metallic blue for the eyes there, and I think that looks really, really good. I really like that a lot. So that's pretty much it for the paint job. For the detailing, I think they did a nice job with these sort of mandibles here that she has, as you can kind of see those. They look really good here, and then of course these sort of horns that she's got on the sides of her head. I like that little detail. Like I said, I like the way that they did the eyes, the mouth. I think is painted, well, not painted, but sculpted pretty decently. It's a closed mouth, but usually when you're going to get Mothra, you're going to get a closed mouth version, and unless it has articulation where you can open it, that's pretty much how you'll get her. But I think they did a pretty nice job detailing that on the underbelly, on her underside. You see she's got like the suction cups going all the way down, showcasing that's obviously what she moves along the ground with when she basically, kind of does like a worm thing when she's going along the ground. They got these nice bumps on her sides here, which I like. They did the nice job with the segmentations all along her body here, so you can see that. And then of course they sculpted the end of the tail like that, and I think that looks pretty cool too. So definitely really like this figure. And you can even see too, I almost forgot to mention, but like somebody else said, there's kind of like these cracks in her skin here that's actually supposed to be there. So I think that's a nice touch. And of course you got like the bumps and such on her head. So they did a really nice job actually getting some detail down and doing this for, especially the Bandai figures are not usually the most well detailed out of what you can get, certainly compared to X Plus or SH Monster Arts, but this, because this movie Monster Series for these two figures, this is the 2018 reissue of these, so I think that they did a really nice job with the larva, especially. With the adult, I like it too, not as much as the larva, like I said before, but I do like it. Which we'll get to in just a second, because I just realized the other point that I wanted to bring up was, of course, articulation. She does actually have one point of articulation. That, of course, is in the head. It's a little bit stiff, but you see that you can swivel it around, and yep, it does go all the way around as well, just so you can see that. But it's a little bit stiff, so... But, certainly if you want to see her kind of moving her head around to do different things with that, and that's pretty cool right there. So we'll set her down, and now we'll get into the adult Imago Mothra. So, like I said, again, from Tokyo S.O.S, which I thought was a decent version of Mothra. Tokyo S.O.S, along with most of the other Millennium Godzilla movies, are not my favorites, but Tokyo S.O.S I definitely like better than Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, and certainly Mothra being in the film was a major part of that, because I'm a big-time Mothra fan. And the fairies were in that too, and I always liked the Mothra fairies. So, as you can see, though, they did do a nice variation of different types of paint. And it was pretty indicative of how she looked in the film. Not the most colorful version of Mothra that you'll find, but I still like what they did here. So just jumping into it, you've got like some of like the on her, you've got like the white on her, and it mixes in with the brown, like this nice sort of fuzzy looking light brown here, and there's different shadings of it, just like there are different shadings on the larva, so you can kind of see the lighter and darker browns that they've got for her fur along with the white, and you got the tips of her antennas that have the brown on them, and the white flushes into those. That's a pretty cool touch here. You've got the mandibles, if you will, here, and you can see the white with this brown, dark brown in there. Let's see, I just want to make sure that it stays in focus. You've got like the very dark brown for the mouth there, as you can see. Again, just like with the larvae, you've got the metallic blue Very shiny eyes. I really love that. Oh, that looks gorgeous to me, honestly. I know somebody said the paint was a little bit sloppy on there. I can kind of see that a little bit, but to me it doesn't. It's not too much of like an eyesore or anything. I don't think so. And I love how shiny that metallic blue looks. To me, like I said, I think that's gorgeous. So, and then you can see on her underside, her underbelly, the legs, which, like somebody else said, I wish that they would have painted those a different color, and I wish that they weren't just like sculpted onto the body. I just want to kind of show it so that I can show on the camera here. So, doing the best I can, folks. I do apologize if it's not perfect. But you can kind of see like that. So I wish that the legs were separated from the body. It's a little bit weird why they show them, why it was sculpted in, but, nonetheless, though, and I wish that they were a different paint, like I said, than the brown. But, they're not too big of a deal to me. And then, of course, like I said, the brown going down, and, of course, into the darker brown for the tip of the tail, as you can see there. You got the brown, like, outlining for the wings. That's cool. I definitely like that. For a Bandai figure, this is not bad at all, honestly. I do enjoy this figure a lot, and I was happy to add it to my collection. And then, of course, saving the best for last, because Mothra's wings are where you'll get the most coloring, of course. So you can kind of see towards the bottom here. Well, you got like the blacks, the black paint, for the different points on the wings here, as well as you got like this orange on there, and goes into this sort of fades into this yellow along the upper part of the wings, the lower part, and of course the upper part of the wings. The same for both sides. So you got the black done there and there, and then of course the black on the upper side of the wings, and then of course you got more orange here for the circular part of the wings, and then of course they got the black outlining and the red circle for each side there. So that was nicely done on that. Again, you got the brown and white on the outer side of the wing. I thought that was a nice little touch that they did there to add that in. And then the underside of the wings, which I do definitely agree with the other reviews of this, was less detailed than the top side. But I think, like they said, that is just sort of the thing that that Bandai does with the undersides of the figures in a lot of cases. So you still got the orange there, but it's just a plain orange on the bottom parts of the wings, if you can see that. And then, of course, the yellow, and then the black here, and then orange here for the circular part, but no black outlining and red, though, on the underside of the wings, and that's definitely something I'm not too happy with, as well as none of the black segmentation, black paint on the bottom part of the wings either. So that's definitely a nitpick with the underside of the wing. So not the greatest there. I will definitely say that. Again, you kind of see. So that is definitely something that I wish that they would have done a better job of. But, for the price that you pay, it is what it is. So anyway, and then other than that, the detailing in it, certainly, like I said, they did a nice job, not just with the metallic blue for the eyes, but doing all like the sculpting the way that Mothra's eyes look, so you can kind of see there. I think that looks really good. I think the antennas look really good, and definitely the mandibles look great. Really, really look furry, and I really like that. I think they did a nice job making her fur actually look like fur, especially the way that they sculpted it there on the underside of the wings. The patterning for the wings are definitely, again, what you would see signature of Mothra. So that looks pretty nice. I don't know if it's 100% done accurately, but I'm not going to nitpick at it too much. Some people, I think, said it was a bit on the sloppy side. I don't think it looks too bad, though. I think they did a pretty nice job detailing different points on the wings, at least on the top side. The bottom side's not the greatest, especially because of the lack of the necessary paint for the wings. But I do think, like I said, the way that they made her fur look, that it actually looks sculpted, like like it really does look like fur. I think that was really nicely done. So definitely like that. And see again the segmentation on her, I guess her thorax, you would call it there. Underbelly with the segmentation there. Of course, you got the detailing made for the tip of the tail, detailing drawn for the mouth. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So I like a lot of this stuff here that they did. And then, like I said, with the legs, this is kind of, like I said, a bit of a drawback that the legs weren't sculpted separately from the main body, that it's just kind of one sculpted piece. So that's definitely a bit of a disappointment, but but it's not going to make or break it too much for me. So Mothra's a bit hard to cover because she does have a lot of detail in her, so that's why I kind of figured this was going to be a little bit longer, especially doing the set here. But anyway, I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to go over for paint and detail, and then of course the main other point of to bring up is articulation, and just like with the Larva Mothra, the adult Imago Mothra does have articulation at her head as well, and that can go, again, just like with the larva, all the way around, as you can see there, and all the way back. So again, just to tilt her head and do these cute little poses, very kawaii. I like it. So definitely think that's pretty cool. So at least you get something, so it's not just like a statue, basically, you know what I mean? So I like that. So overall, I think it's good. I wish that they would have had more. I wish that the legs would have been separated and had articulation in them. I wish that the thorax would have had articulation, and definitely wish that the wings would have had articulation. That's the main disappointment as far as the articulation goes. But at least you got the head, so at least that's something. And then the only other point that a couple of things real quick. I did want to go over, these figures did come with the tags. I don't keep my tags on there. That's just my personal thing. But I do keep the tags as collector items, because to me they're kind of like cards, and I have some cards as well. So I keep those with them. So for the adult Mothra, you can see here, definitely something that other people brought up is, for whatever reason, the cover of the tag for her is not the Tokyo S.O.S version of Mothra. As you can clearly see, it's the Heisei 1992 version of Mothra from Godzilla vs. Mothra, The Battle for Earth, which I like that design of Mothra better. I wish that the figure was that, but it is what it is. I'm not really sure why they did that, but what are you gonna do? But then it's got, see the titling, this is the 2018 reissue, and of course Mothra with the Japanese wording. Unfortunately, I can't read Japanese, I'm not 100% sure what it says. And then you can see inside the card as well, just real quick. Here you got like the warning label for the choking hazard, and of course more Japanese scripture on there, and then the back cover, which is pretty cool too. I like that, and of course got Bandai on there. I'll just set that down there, and actually I can do it like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Alright, cool, I like that. And then the Larva Mothra card right here, folks. So again, that looks like the Heisei Larva Mothra because of the fact that it's got the that government building that she spun her cocoon on from the film. So I think this is also the Heisei Larva Mothra on this card. I'm not sure why they did that with the tags, I should say, but what are you going to do? But again, you can see same thing with Mothra in 2018, and of course the same on the inside, or you know what I mean, same like it was on the inside for the other tag, with the scripture and the hazard, the choking hazard warning, and of course the back of the card as well with Bandai on there. So very cool. I definitely like these tags. Like I said, I don't keep them on the figure, but I do keep them for collector's sake. So Okay, so I think with well, that covers most of it. The only other thing is sizing wise. Like I said, these are standard size figures. I believe the Larva Mothra, I think it's about 8.5 inches long. So it's actually a pretty nice size. I like that a lot. And the adult Mothra, I think from her head to her tail, the tip of her tail, she stands about 4 inches, I believe. And the main sizing for her is in the wingspan, which I believe is about 8 inches or so for her wingspan. So you can see it covers a lot of the screen here, and trying the best I can to keep her on the camera. So definitely really cool. So anyway, boy, I didn't realize that was going to take me as long as it did, but wow. Yeah, so other than that, though, you can definitely find these figures online. They're pretty common. They're not too expensive. I got the set. You can buy, if you want to buy them separately, I have seen them separately, or if you would prefer, like I did, to get the set, you can definitely get that as well. The set of these was under $50, so like I said, it wasn't too bad, and I really wanted another. The only other standard size adult, Mothra figure that I had was my Trendmasters one, which I might cover at some point, but so I really wanted that. But then I was just thinking how much I love the Showa Mothra and really wanted a version of that. Didn't want to go the X Plus route, like I said in my previous videos after the nightmare I had with the X Plus figure that I have, trying to put it together and how long it took me. But anyway, but I did see, that's when I did discover the Revoltech figures, and I actually did get myself the Revoltech Mothra figure, and I love that one. I absolutely love it, and I'm planning to do a future review on that one. So that'll be, I have a couple Revoltechs, including that one. I'm going to do, definitely cover those in the future. But I think for otherwise, though, that does pretty much wrap it up, though, folks. I do want to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.